wants to know, what did I spend my PPP money on that's worth me going to jail for 20 years? None of it's worth me going to jail for 20 years. Let's just get that out there.
At least he's being honest.
But I did get this $10,000 limited edition Michelet watch that I really, really wanted. I got this $1,600 Gucci bracelet that I absolutely love.
They have a real page with my name on it for $37,000.
I just so happen to be an attorney. And the best advice that I can give you is shut the up.
Do you guys recall what the PPP loans were? The Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, was created to help small businesses survive during the pandemic. The money was meant to keep employees on payroll, cover the rent, essentially keep businesses afloat during the shutdown. If you used it correctly, the loans would be forgiven. That means free money, legally. But instead of using it what it was designed for, people lied about having employees, made up fake companies, and padded numbers just to get a big fat check. And those people that took out PPP loans fraudulently are now crying on the internet because they got busted. And I'm just over here thinking, you took free government money by lying on your application, and now you're shocked that there are consequences? Welcome to federal charges, babe.
Why I'm going to jail? If I tell y'all one more time why I'm going to jail, I did fraud. That's why I'm going to jail. Don't ask me no more. Y'all probably trying to screen report me.
She just flat out said, don't ask me why I'm going to jail. Fraud, that's why. At least she knows it. So she's just smirking at the camera and it says, my last 20 days free before I go to do my 5-year sentence for PPP loans. She just smirking and making kissy faces at the camera. Okay.
Okay, you guys, I'm over here stressed out because you remember when the PP loan was here? I did the PP loan and I just got oh my God, I just got a letter in the mail that said I'm subpoenaed to court for this. And if charged, I'm facing 10 years in federal prison. 10 years in federal. Hold on.
Yeah, we heard you. Hope that money was worth it. I'm telling you guys, do not screw over the government. They will get their money. If you screw them over, if you lie, they will find out and they will take you for every penny back. Either they'll take it from you, they'll give you jail time, or both.
Most people don't understand, when we was doing our thing, man, shit, it's hard out here. A lot of people don't understand, man. I'm already a convicted felon. I did damn near 8 years, 7 years and 9 months to be exact. And shit hard. And so, I'ma just take my lick on the chin, man.
Okay. What's the point?
So everybody wants to know, what did I spend my PPP money on that's worth me going to jail for 20 years? None of it's worth me going to jail for 20 years. Let's just get that out the way.
Honesty. At least it's being honest.
But I did get this $10,000 limited edition Michelet watch that I really, really wanted. I got this $1,600 Gucci bracelet that I absolutely love. I also picked up these lovely Gucci shades, and I adore these. Also got me a pair of Cartier shades. If you're not from the Midwest, you don't know about the Cardis, baby.
Okay, so here's the thing. We see people crying on the internet about taking the PPP loan because they needed money, times were tough. And then we see assholes like this that use the PPP loan that was allocated to save businesses, by the way. They took money from businesses that needed it to buy freaking $10,000 watches and Gucci bracelets. I think 20 years in jail is pretty extreme in this circumstance, but I wouldn't hate seeing it.
Also got me these pair of Alexander McQueen's, which I've yet to wear, but I'm wearing one day. And then my favorite purchase is this $1,700 Gibson guitar. I don't know how to play the guitar, but I was gonna put LED lights behind it and put it on my wall in my room and have it look all pretty and all that stuff. I never got around to doing it. And then besides that, I just got like little knickknacks, this shirt, I got an iPad.
I might even feel bad for the people that took out the loan because they felt like they had no choice because they had to keep a roof over their head. They had to pay rent. They were about to get evicted because of the pandemic. That I can understand. Yeah, the consequences of your actions sucks when it involves jail time whenever you thought You were just doing whatever you needed to do in the moment, and then you're just gonna face the consequences later if you got caught. But people that took the PPP loan and just bought extravagant things or blew money on stupid shit, no justification for that. Here's another woman just kind of staring into her camera, looking heavily filtered with a caption that says, POV trying to enjoy my last 30 days free before getting federally sentenced for up to 78 months. Hope the money was worth it.
Andre Lorque wanted to get rich without working hard, so he decided to submit multiple fraudulent loan applications to the Paycheck Protection Program between June 2020 and November 2021. Along with his applications, he submitted fraudulent paperwork. He was hoping to receive $4.7 million in funding, but he received $4.4 million.
What blows my mind is people do this, and we've seen people with like $20,000 loans, $100,000 loans, but loans in the millions? How bold you gotta be to scam the government out of $4 million worth of forgivable loans. The audacity of people.
Lorque bought a Lamborghini Urus, a Porsche Panamera GTS, and 2 Teslas. Along with his rides, he got some bling. He purchased an Audemars Piguet watch, a custom pendant, and a chain with 70 carats of diamonds. He flaunted his purchase on Instagram, and in August 2023, the feds came knocking with an arrest warrant. They charged him with 4 counts of wire fraud, 4 counts of money laundering, and 1 count of identity theft. He was facing up to 22 years. He pleaded guilty to a count of money laundering. In March 2024, he was sentenced to 71 months in federal prison.
Think 71 months is long enough? I don't think so.
Cracking down. 3 individuals sentenced for $3.5 million in COVID-19 relief fraud scheme. See, the feds are not playing games. For those of you who's applying for those PPP loans and you ain't have a business, listen, the feds are coming. They are cracking down. And let me tell y'all, for those of you at the time, I know you probably thought it was a great time, but now y'all about to have the real PPP. Poor people problems in jail.
The real PPP. Poor people problems in jail.
My coworker got fired for getting the PPP loan. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I saw a girl's video saying that she just had her case with the feds regarding getting the PPP loan, like lying on the application, and she got sentenced to 9.5 years. 9.5 years. And I saw other people in the comments saying that they're going through their case. I saw somebody else say that they got sentenced for wire fraud. And these people are not playing. They are not playing, and banks are assisting. They are assisting in the process. As somebody who works in banking, who's worked in multiple different banks, the banks help the IRS. But let me tell you what happened with my coworker. So this is my coworker that turned into a friend. So I had already left the company by the time that she got fired. But ultimately what happened was, this was 2022. The list came out of everybody who had got the PPP loan. She obviously was on that list. And she ended up in HR. Clearly the bank was looking at the list. Not my current job, y'all. Again, this is a company that I left. So don't call them people again, please. But she ended up in a meeting with HR. They asked her like, oh, you were on this list, you have a business. And basically there was a date that your business had to be established to qualify for the PPP loan. And a lot of people created LLCs after that date. And that's how they know if your application was fraudulent. And so they told her like, I don't think that you qualified for this PPP loan based on when you established your business or whatever. But she didn't admit to anything. And her business was selling handmade jewelry, right? So the reason why they were able to fire her is because if you've ever worked for a bank, a financial institution, a brokerage, you have to disclose all outside business activities. It's regulatory. You have to sign off that you will disclose anything, any second job, any second source of income. If you're a part of the board of directors for any type of company, nonprofit, sometimes even volunteer work, you have to disclose it so that the bank can make sure it's not a conflict of interest. So basically they fired her because they said that her not disclosing that she had a business was violating company policy, because she should have told them. And I'm sure y'all are going to say, well, she should have told them that, she stopped the business when she started working. I guess whenever she established it, she had already started working there. So like the dates just didn't line up. But yeah, they fired her and said that it was because she didn't disclose that she had a business. But if she had disclosed that she had a business, it wouldn't have been a conflict of interest for her to sell handmade jewelry. They fired her because of that.
It doesn't matter. It was a policy. It was a policy. A lot of people that end up losing their jobs for things that they claim they didn't know, usually it's disclosed at the time of hiring. There's company handbooks, there's sometimes NDAs, things that are signed. There's new hire onboarding paperwork, and a lot of people just either don't pay attention or they don't read and realize, you know, the things that they should and should not be doing in order to keep their job. And then they end up losing their job because either they post on social media or they didn't disclose something to the company that they work for. I mean, happens all the time.
A PPP loan. And that was just their excuse. So be careful, y'all. They are coming.
A Tampa woman was sentenced to prison for defrauding a bank for nearly $600,000 in PPP funds. Here's my thing. They saying she took $600,000, but she was only sentenced to 24 months in federal prison and ordered to forfeit $7,500 only. First, she was facing 30 years and $1 million fine. I'd have took that deal too. Now, how she did this was she recruited family members and friends and submitted false applications and documents in order to obtain the PPP money. Then she created fictitious businesses and email addresses to fool loan officers into thinking they was communicating with the real borrowers. And in exchange for her services, she said she would handle all the necessary paperwork in return for half of what they qualified for. For example, one person was approved for and received $20,000, and out of that, $7,500 went into her personal account. At the end of the day, it's not worth it. Just build your business and your business credit profile to right.
That's right. I say that all the time. All of the energy that these people put into defrauding and stealing and thieving, what if they put that energy into something productive and actually made legitimate money? Baffles me.
The girls are coming on here and telling their story about how they had to do federal time for those PPP loans. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel bad for them because not only do they have to pay back their own loans, they have to pay back other people's loans also. Plus due time, like time, like 2 to 9 years kind of time. Not to mention some of these girls have little kids. Some of them are pregnant now. This was over 4 years ago. I see a lot of comments talking about, oh, they did the crime, they should be doing the time, and I get it. But damn, y'all, like that is really sad. I don't know who needs to hear this, but just a friendly reminder, don't do it because it will come back to haunt you.
That's the thing. It is sad, but actions have consequences.
This is how the government is catching people that file falsely and fraudulently PPP loan applications. Now, they're using a combination of data analysis, audits, and tips from whistleblowers to catch people who file falsely, and also using agencies like the Small Business Administration, the Department of Justice, and also the IRS to track suspicious activity like inflated payroll figures, fake businesses documentation, and also other things that's kind of like a misrepresentation in the business. They're also cross-checking the PPP applications with tax records, business licenses, and other public data to spot inconsistencies as well. Now, in some cases, some people are being charged and prosecuted that only helped people file fraudulent PPP loans. So tell me what you all think. These PPP loans were filed in 2020, 2021, around the COVID pandemic time. It is now 2025. Do you all feel like that people should still be prosecuted for fraudulently submitting PPP loan applications and receiving those funds fraudulently?
That's a big old hell yes.
The PPP warrant list is real. They have a real page with my name on it for $37,000. Not only $37,000, but also because I used my child's father's name to open up a bank account to get $18,000.
You also used your child's father's name to open up a bank account to get $18,000. Now you sitting here crying on TikTok because you blatantly falsified documents to steal free money that was not entitled to you. Keep crying.
Y'all might not see me too much longer. I ended up getting a letter in the mail from the IRS. It got me. I took out a loan for $50,000, and I don't know how I'm gonna pay it back. Like when you in a fucked up situation, you in a bind, you in a fucked situation, man, you willing to do anything to get out that shit. You willing to do anything to get out there. You know, I was just in a tight spot. I was in a tight spot, and I needed some money. And I didn't know they was just offering people money, and it's just like we was in a recession, and the pandemic, man. Wasn't nobody working for real, man. And then they told me that they told me I got to pay the money back. I'm gonna face federal prison time, dog. Federal prison time, man. It's like y'all was just trying to. It's like this was a setup or something.
It was not a setup. It was not a setup. You had free will. The PPP loan was created to help save businesses during the pandemic. You took advantage. That's not a setup.
That was y'all playing with us like that, man. Why? It ain't right. This right. Donald Trump, you gotta do something about this, bro. Help it out.
Anyway.
People are now going to jail for taking out PPP loans back in 2020 when they really didn't need to. Now, the woman that I showed you there has gotten the biggest sentencing that any of us have seen. She is going to prison for 9.5 years. She is currently counting down on her TikTok her next 30 days here before she goes and surrenders and gives herself up to police. This woman here was making a video telling people that you did not have to take out the PPP loan. Everybody was doing it back in 2020, and now they're finally starting to go to jail. And we don't know exactly how long this guy is going away for, but he said, I might be going away for a while. That PPP loan came back to bite me. And as people in his comment section pointed out, you thought you were committing fraud, was doing something right. I got 40K in PPP loans and 100% went to pay my employees, and I got a forgiveness letter with no issues. My PPP loan was great. I followed the guidelines. When you look up PPP loan, the last one, the fourth one right there, back in October, but in the past 11 hours, 3 different people have been charged with crimes regarding their PPP loan. So if you know anyone that got a PPP loan in 2020, check on them.
Yeah, if you don't falsify documents and you got the PPP loan legally and you allocated those funds for what they were supposed to be used for, you got a forgiveness letter, you went on with your life. I don't understand why it's so hard to be honest.
I just got off the phone with the lawyer. He's telling me the best options that I have are to turn myself in. Like, what did I do to deserve this?
What did I do to deserve this? Lied, stole, defrauded a government entity? Don't need to keep going?
Baby, just when y'all thought that y'all got away with that PPP loan shit, they said, give me that, like, run me that, like, y'all should have knew that y'all wasn't gonna be able to, like, scam that money from them people and not have no consequences. Clark Dixie. So this guy posted on Facebook and said, Lord, everybody who got the PPP loan, they coming back for their shit. I had the loan forgiveness and all. I can't be the only one that got this letter. That motherfucker say, if you don't contact us, the United States of America will file a civil suit. I don't want no smoke with them. So inside the letter, it says, Dear Mr. Starks, this office has received information and documentation establishing that you improperly received or forgiven PPP loan under the CARES Act and the principal amount of $20,832 through false representation and violations of the False Claim Act 31 USC. It says that the Financial Institution Reform, Recovery, and Enforcement Act partially codified at 12 USC. It went on to say this letter constitutes a demand for repayment of the total following amounts according to attached certified statement of account from the SBA. It says $20,832 for forgiving PPP loan principal, $122.10 for interest for forgiveness, and $2,500 for PPP loan processing fee. Baby, they is not playing with y'all. Not.
Yeah, they don't play.
Seth Rogen took out a $1.8 million PPP loan. And before you watch the rest of this video, in December, I think, of 2024, he came out with a new drink. It's called Houseplant. I suggest you go and support him and buy it because it has 3 milligrams of THC in it, and it might help the hit when I tell you that his loan most likely was forgiven. A lot of them were. So from what I'm reading, it's just if the company met certain criteria, they forgave the loan, is basically. So if you paid payroll, you did this with the money, you did that. I don't know if anything was checked.
I mean, that also does kind of hurt some. Like you have all of these people that are, yes, crying because they broke the law, they stole this money, they fraudulently were granted this money. You see them crying and they're going to prison. And then you see Seth Rogen took out a $1.8 million PPP loan and it was forgiven. He just got a free $1.8 million from the government. Did Seth Rogen really need to take out nearly $2 million? Or do you think maybe he might have had the money to sustain his company through the pandemic? Kind of gets under your skin a little bit if you really think about it.
Update on the PPP warrant. So I didn't think that it was real at first because it's been about 3 years since I did mine. And man, I'm gonna take my lick because at the end of the day, I knew what I was doing when I did it. I knew that it was a possibility that, you know, everything could go sideways. I see a lot of comments, people got negative shit to say. They want to say, oh, you committed fraud, you knew what you was doing whenever you did it. And I get that, I get it, it's all good. But at the end of the day, man, you know, every time somebody going through a negative situation in their life, y'all want to add negativity to the negative situation as if it's not already negative enough.
Telling it like it is not adding negativity. Pointing out facts is not bringing negativity. That just means you don't want to hear the truth.
For anyone involved in the PPP drama and all the people crashing out about getting arrested and being prosecuted for taking out PPP loans that didn't have businesses, I do not post free legal advice all the time, and I just so happen to be an attorney. And the best advice that I can give you is shut the up.
That's what I'm saying. So many of these clips that I feature on my channel are people telling on themselves. They just open up their mouths on the internet and they make the problem worse for themselves. So there you go. There's a lawyer right there saying the best free advice that she can give is to shut the f up. I'm sure she'll bill us later.
17 members of the Broward Sheriff's Office, which include both BSO deputies and detention deputies, released from the federal courthouse in Fort Lauderdale after being indicted on charges that include wire fraud after federal investigators said they fraudulently applied for and received funds from the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP loans. Attorney Brian Silber represents 3 of the defendants, some of whom have either been suspended or placed on leave pending the outcome of the investigation.
I can't comment on the nature of the case.
Sheriff Gregory Toney said he first learned of the crimes in November of 2021, prompting him to investigate all 5,500 of his employees, including himself and other top brass. Of the 17 indicted, 7 BSO deputies and 1 sergeant in law enforcement, and 8 detention deputies and 1 sergeant in corrections. We learned the defendants involved received tens of thousands of dollars, and while the investigation has proved that some of whom were investigated did have legitimate businesses, at the very least, the 17 now facing federal charges allegedly did not.
Wow. These people were in law enforcement. They should have known better. So this chick says, imagine your friend putting a PPP loan in your name and then running off with the money.
Been cool for 2 years. Y'all end up meeting at work, and then y'all end up building a bond at work that end up spilling out into your personal life, and y'all became friends. Y'all even once had a her business together, but the sales wasn't salesing, so y'all end up closing their business down. Around the time PPP loans first came out, your friend ended up calling you excited as hell, saying that she had got approved for $20,000 and asking you if you wanted to do one. You end up asking her, you know, what's a PPP loan? She started explaining it, and you like, hell no, like I don't need them type of legal troubles. She like, no, girl, it's cool. They'll be doing loan forgiveness, woo, trying to pretty much woo you into doing it, trying to persuade you into getting one. But you like, no, I'm like, I don't need them type of problem. Like, you sure? Bitch, I'm cool with my 9 to 5. So she posting on social media shit. You even sharing some of her posts to try to get her some clientele, and she was getting clients and she was getting people approved. Boom, because she was so good at people was asking her to teach them how to do it. So she decided to charge people like $250 a pop to teach them how to do the PPP loans, and motherfuckers was paying. She ended up calling you one day, and you did work from home, and was like, you know, can I use your Wi-Fi because my Wi-Fi out at the house? So you're like, yeah, girl, that's cool. Come on, I'm working from home anyway. So she ended up getting over there, whatever, y'all talking, blase. She ended up asking you because she used your name as like a demo for the class. So you like, no, I don't want to do it. It's like, no, it's gonna be a demo, so it's not gonna actually go through. So you like, you sure? She's like, yeah, sure, I promise. You said you want to do one, you ain't got to do one. I just need somebody to use it as a demo. You went ahead and gave her the information, you know, that she would need to do the demo. You hear her doing the demo, hear her.
Damn, who needs enemies when you got friends like that? See, I actually believe her. Like this whole story, yeah, let me know down in the comments. Are you believing her right now, or do you think that she's just making up a BS reason to put the blame on somebody else for her getting busted doing a fraudulent PPP loan? What do you think? Do you think that this is a true story, or do you think that it's a BS excuse to justify what she did and to try to pass the blame onto someone else? I'm kind of believing the story right now. I think her friend took advantage of her.
Telling people, you know, to get a prepaid card with the just pretty much giving them the rundown. So she ended up leaving after it was done. And she was like, girl, I'll see you later, blah, 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 blah. And that was the end of that day. Boom, a few months later, your friend ended up quitting her job because I'm guessing she was in her fucking bag with them PPP loans. So let's fast forward a little bit to around the time, like text time. You end up getting a letter to your address from the IRS saying that you owe them $20,000. And if you need any assistance, call this number. You end up calling the number, whatever, and they end up sending you the information about the PPP loan because honestly, you was close. You ain't found no mother PPP loan. So they end up giving you a website where you can go and check the application, maybe, you know, change the information to get logged in. And bitch, when you did, you end up seeing that there was a PPP loan in your name saying that you was a mobile nail tech, that you had 8 employees, and that you had made a certain amount of money, and that $20,000 was sent to a prepaid card in your name. You
would not think that they would allow that kind of money to be sent to a prepaid card. You'd think that that shit would need to go straight into a bank account. Am I wrong?
You never received $20,000. So you try calling your friend and shit. When you call her and you end up asking her about the $20,000, she started stuttering and immediately hung up in your face. You tried to call back. By that time, you was blocked. She had blocked you on Facebook, blocked you on Instagram. You end up going to her house and she had already moved. And it was crazy because you hadn't been over her house in a little...
She already moved? Damn.
In a little minute because you was working on doing some shit for the new year. You was trying to start yourself a new business and shit. You was kind of busy. So you end up going to the police because you can't find this bitch nowhere. She don't even live in the same house no more. She had moved and everything in a matter of months. So when you went to the police, they end up telling you that it was a civil matter and that you would have to take her to court and make sure that you got evidence. So that's what the you start doing. You start looking for some evidence. You start posting on social media. You start screenshotting text messages and shit like that y'all was talking about when she was talking about the PPP loan when she asked you, did you want it? And you told her no. After you collect the evidence, you end up finding out that she did that shit to 5 other people, 5 PPP loans in their name and ran off with their money. So you end up filing a report with the SBA, and you also file fraud. They end up doing their investigation, and it took them about 6 months, but they end up, coming to the conclusion that you was not the one that received the loan, especially with all the...
Good. I'm glad for her because damn, can you imagine if you had to pay back this loan and serve jail time all because of what your supposed friend did? And then just bails and moves and you have no way to reach them? And they did it to 5 people?
Evidence that you had. They said that they was looking for her. You gave them all the information that you had on her, hoping that they would find her. Bitch, look. 2 months after that, you was happy as because now you was no longer in illegal trouble, but then you end up going to the Kroger's over here on Union, end up seeing the bitch with a mother BBL and a brand new Gucci bag walking up the mother deadly aisle.
What a bitch. Wow. Bottom line, PPP loans were meant to save businesses, not bankroll scammer bank accounts. And yet, here we are in 2025, watching people cry on the internet and complain about being investigated for fraud that they committed. So here's a key takeaway. If you scam the government, don't expect TikTok tears to save you. The only thing that's coming for you is a court date. What do you think? Did any of these people deserve sympathy, or did they just bring it on themselves? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like videos like this, remember to hit the thumbs up before you leave. While you're down there, also double check and make sure that you are subscribed and ring that notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post my next video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.